So, welcome back to this session. We are in the module 2 of our program called Craft Your Resume. Now, what comes to your mind when I say craft your resume? One wonders that, okay, I pick up the piece of paper and now what do I start writing, right? What is the content? Or on my computer, on my laptop, what do I start writing? So, in a resume, resume is meant, is comprised of certain elements, right? Certain sections, if you remember. And I'm sure you've also gone through the templates that I had given you. So there are certain sections, right? Headline, summary, experience, education, and there is a flow that it should maintain, right? So what is that flow? How it should be written? What are those elements, right? That is what we are going to discuss in this session. And in the last session we've understood ATS, we've understood what is the purpose of ATS, how to crack the ATS, right? But by the end of this module, our objective is to be able to craft your resume powerfully, professionally. And if you're doing your work, if you're following my instructions, if you're with me in this program, completing all your assignments, it is my promise that by the end of this program, you will have your 2-pager resume, the most important document telling your brand with you, ready. Okay, so let's dive in and discuss elements of resume. So what are the different elements? Let's take a look. Functional skills, experience, education, achievements, headline, profile, personal details, right? And that is when this dish is ready of efficient, professional, powerful looking resume, right? Now let's discuss all these elements one by one. So be ready to make notes, okay? So the first element we're going to study is the headline. Now the moment you look at a resume, in fact there was a time when, if you remember, you would have objective written on the resume, right? Objective. Let me tell you, objective has become obsolete, right? Objective of the resume is just one, that whatever job you're applying for with that resume, you want to get shortlisted for that, and that is why you are using this document as a brochure, as a as a narrative, as a brand tool for you to tell your story, correct? So we don't write objective anymore, but what we can do is we can talk about a headline. And if you remember, in the module 1 we had one slide on how to create an impact in 30 seconds, remember? And there also I had talked about how you can leverage your headline to tell your story in a most unique way, okay? So headline is nothing but a targeted statement that clearly and specifically states your USP. What is your USP? Your unique selling proposition. Now you may say, Chinmay, am I a product? I don't have a USP. No, I understand you're not a product. We are all human beings. But if you remember, I'm coming from the same context that we talked about in the module 1, that we all sell for a living. And the company that is going to look at your resume also needs you to sell yourself, sell your skills. So what is that unique selling proposition? Why should I hire a Shweta than going for an Ashish or a Samir or anybody? Why should the employer, anybody who's coming for campus interviews, should shortlist you and prefer you above any of your other classmates, right? They are not going to do a favor on you, neither do they know you personally. So how do you communicate? You actually communicate your USP, unique selling proposition, along with a snapshot of your top strengths. That is what comprises of a powerful headline, okay? Here is an example. Let's take a look. Experienced IT quality assurance professional, leveraging advanced skills and academic expertise to drive excellence and foster long-term growth in the IT industry. Now, what is it telling? If you notice the headline, it is talking about that you are an experienced IT quality assurance professional. So it talks about your strength. You are a quality guy or a candidate. You are leveraging your skills. You have advanced skills. You have academic, the expertise, the professional qualification required, and you want to drive excellence and foster long-term growth in the IT industry. You're also positioning yourself as the quality assurance professional in the IT industry. So headline is something where less is more. You try to say not too much, but you try to say the most important highlights of your profile, and that is how you can also create that impact. And this is one of the most important elements, I would say, because this is the first thing somebody would look when they look at your resume, the first 2-3 lines, Yeah, so that's where headline comes in. What is the next element? Okay, the next element is profile. Profile is nothing but your profile snapshot or a profile summary. Again, a few lines where in just a few lines you are able to narrate the entire profile of yours, right? You may be a fresher, but even the professionals who are experienced, like 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, even they have profile summary on top of their resume. And imagine just one paragraph or maybe 6-7 bullet points talking about their entire profile summary, talking about their entire profile and doing justice to their experience and the value they bring onto the table. And they can also do it only if they are thinking in terms of their USP, right? You don't want to write too much. You cannot write too much. There's only so much space available. So you actually want to drill down your profile into just few pointers. The profile summary should be relevant, adapted accordingly, and must contain statements, positive statements that sell you. Again, selling is important, right? So what are those top strengths that sell you? And if you notice, there is this word that I've used, should be, profile summary should be relevant, adapted accordingly, right? Adapted accordingly. If you see in the first line, adapted accordingly, and must contain positive statements that sell you, right? So what does it mean when I say adapted accordingly? What does that mean? Adapted accordingly means it has to come from your job description. Yes, right? What is the job description? What are they asking for in the job description? And you want to give them what they are looking for, right? As simple as that. So profile summary should be relevant, concise, adapted accordingly. Give the company what they are looking for. Sometimes we get so obsessed, and the more senior people get, I notice this all the time, people get obsessed with their own profiles. People get obsessed with their experience. You have to actually leverage your experience, yes, of course, but you have to do it with reference to what the company is looking for, right? So you have to do that match, and I'm going to give you a tool, a very, very powerful tool for you to be able to do that at the end of this module, okay? So this is what profile summary is. I've also mentioned an example for you. Let's quickly read that together. Seasoned quality assurance professional with extensive experience in IT multinational environment, adept at implementing and enhancing quality processes and standards, proven expertise in identifying and resolving complex quality issues, strong technical background combined with robust educational qualifications, skilled in cross-functional collaboration, dedicated to long-term career growth in the IT industry, right? So these are some of the profile summary statements, right? If you notice, every statement has a verb, right? Proven expertise, it is always a verb. Skilled in cross-functional collaboration, dedicated to long-term career growth, right? So it is all, you actually use these verbs to quantify your achievements, to talk about action, talk about what do you do, demonstrated excellence in blah blah blah, for example. Yeah, so this is an important element. Again, it talks about your story in short, and in the first half of the resume, the headline and profile summary together actually pretty much give a snapshot of your entire experience to the recruiter. Okay, what is the next element? So next element is functional skills. Yeah, again, very important. What are your skills? Because skills tell a story of what do you bring onto the table, right? Are you somebody who's got strong technical skills? If technical skills, then which technology, right? Leadership skills, for example, soft skills, communication skills, negotiation skills. Depending on the job you're applying for, you derive those skills, and of course the skills that you have the expertise in. So list the key skills that are needed for the job. Write statements that support how each of those key skills have you acquired. So there are two ways to talk about skills. One is that you make a laundry list, like you see on LinkedIn, just in the picture below you can see, right? So this is a LinkedIn snapshot, that skills are just listed out. The other way of writing skills is you mention the skill and you write one line on what have you done to acquire that skill. Now you tell me, when you write that one statement, would it not look more real, more concrete? That you're not just saying that you have negotiation skills, but you're also sharing that you have done this particular thing under negotiation skills, and that's how you're so good at negotiation skills. So it just makes it more real and more meaningful. Okay, so write the statements that support how each of those skills, how you have each of those skills, and when saying how you have those skills, be specific and relevant. So specificity and relevance, I cannot stress this enough, but these are two very, very important things to remember while you craft your entire resume. Everything that you write on the resume, you should check, is this specific, is this relevant, right? The more specific you are, the more weight it carries. Okay, so functional skills is another important element. The next element on the list is experience. Experience is nothing but what have you done in the previous organization. So keep it simple. It should have dates, position, titles, company name, company location, right? It talks about what have you done in that company during while performing that role. For somebody like a fresher, you would want, of course I understand you don't have an experience. If you have had no experience so far, you are a fresher, but maybe you've done some internship, maybe you led a project in the college, or maybe you got into an internship, or maybe it was just an unpaid position, or you were training, industrial training, right? So anything that you've done that can fall under experience, you make it specific and relevant to give it more meaning and more weight and showcase it as experience. Be concise in your descriptions of what you did. Don't try to write too much. Please do not copy job descriptions. And I say this all the time because people have this habit, and all this while when we said look at the job description, it should match, it should have keywords. So hang on, I am not saying you copy paste the job description, okay? You don't do that. You please don't. Nobody should copy their job description under experience. Why? Let me explain. The moment you copy the job description, basically what you're saying is that these are the things I have done, but that adds zero meaning. Why? Because I can also do it, you can also do it, third person can also do it, right? And if we all do that, then the whole meaning of having a resume gets diluted, because end of the day you are only talking about what you are supposed to do in that role, in that experience. But the meaning of a resume is telling your story. It is not about what you were supposed to do, but it is about what you did as a quality engineer, for example, as a quality analyst, for example, as a healthcare professional, as an engineer, right? So until or unless you become specific, you write relevant details about what you did in that role, it will not sound real. Yeah, so please do not make that mistake of copying and pasting the job description. So here is what experience entails. It also translates specialized skills and interest into everyday language. The next element is achievements. Now, if I have to pick up two elements that are the most important elements in a resume, there's going to be strengths, the skills, expertise, and achievements, right? So you have to optimize and utilize these two elements in a resume to the optimum, right? Because that is what sets you apart. That is what sets you different, right? Anybody can list those skills, but that pointer where you say that how did you acquire the skill will be very unique to you, right? Anybody can write I did this and I did A, B, C, D, E during my experience at XYZ company as a business development officer, but it has to be only you who can write what did you really do. And that is where the resume becomes unique, because you are unique. Your career graph has been unique. Your experience as a professional is unique, right? And that is what you're bringing onto the table. You, the unique person that you are. So for you to do justice to your resume, to this recruitment process, you should know all those details. You should know yourself. And that is when it is possible for you to craft it in a 2-pager document as a resume, like a resume, right? So please list your achievements during your experience. People have this habit of writing the achievements separately. Don't do that, because it creates a disconnect. If you're playing a role in a specific company, in an experience, you write that down in the, during that experience only, not otherwise, not separately. So mention all the awards and accolades you received as an acknowledgement. Mention the needed data to substantiate the results you produce, right? If you did something great, by what percentage did that improvement happen? So use a lot of data, Don't overdo it, but use as much data as possible, because that is what stands out. That is what makes the difference in the resume. That is what gives you a competitive advantage. That is what makes it unique. Yeah, because nobody can copy that. Does that make sense? It is no brainer, no rocket science, but all I'm saying is, whatever you have done in life, first of all, bring forth, remember it, use the tools and documents that I'm giving you, fill those questionnaires. It will give you enough data to then craft your resume. Enough stories, right? So I will quickly repeat this because it's so important. List your achievements during your experience, mention on awards, accolades you received along with acknowledgement details, right? What was the award for? And mention the needed data to substantiate the results you have produced. Here is an example for an achievement. Okay, this is a perfect example, I would say. Successfully led a quality improvement initiative that reduced defect rates by 30% within 6 months. Now you see this line, okay, and then you look at this significant enhancement in product reliability and customer satisfaction. Okay, these are the most important highlights, which is what is making this achievement look so good, look so real, look so meaningful, and so unique. Okay, successfully led a quality improvement initiative. You know, if you have to just take one thing from this program, Resume Builder Formula, just take this one. If I have to choose what is that one thing going to be, it is going to be this, because this is what I see lacking 99.9% times in all the resumes across different levels of experience. So please own this up. Please write this down if you have to, and of course we'll do a lot of practice in the upcoming sessions. But look at it very carefully. Successfully led a quality improvement initiative. So it talks about what is the area? Quality improvement initiative. What was the result? Reduction in defect rates. Very important. You know, if somebody is in quality, defect is what you are dealing with, right? That is what your job is, to reduce, and you have done it successfully. Reduce those rates by 30% within 6 months. It is not just saying 30%. 30% in how long? What was the reference point? In 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 1 month? So this person has very specifically said reduced defect rates by 30% within 6 months, resulting in a significant enhancement in product reliability and customer satisfaction. What a remarkable achievement. What a beautiful sentence, articulated perfectly. Yeah, so please learn this. This is how your achievement stories need to be written. I will give you more tools. I will teach you the technique in the upcoming sessions, how to do this. So stay tuned, right? And we will move into the next module. We will discuss more in detail. The next element of this resume is education, which of course you know, just listing out degrees, months, years, name and location of the schools, grade point. If you're a fresher, then you should write grade pointers, but if you haven't done so well in the college, avoid it. And if you're an experienced professional, then of course you just want to write the name of the qualification, college, location, and the year you passed out in. If you have done some important courses, then please write a brief summary. That also might be helpful, that not just the name of the program, but what did you do in that program, right? And if you're a fresher, if you are just starting out your career, then it is important because you don't have too much of experience to write about. So please do justice to this section. Education, what did you learn in that particular certification, industrial training if you have done, of course that will come under experience, but make sure you write the dates, the location, don't skip any of these important details. And of course then the personal details, which will have your address, your phone number, your email ID, and the LinkedIn profile link, which is very, very important today, right? You cannot not have a LinkedIn profile, as simple as that. Okay, so these are the elements of the resume to prepare this amazing dish called efficient, effective, accurate, professional looking resume. We've done these elements, very important. I hope you've internalized them, you've understood. Well, you already knew them, but just to be able to do justice to each and every element, because that is how the resume will start to come together. These are the important steps for you in crafting your resume. So that's it for now. I've really enjoyed doing this session with you, and I hope you have enjoyed as much as I have. I will see you in the next section. Goodbye for this one. But after this session, just list out all the sections, important elements that you are going to bring up and utilize and craft in your resume. I will see you in the next session. Goodbye for now.